that's weird. Switch this right here. What's up, everybody? What's going on, man? This your man right here. One, the only, that beautiful Rhode Island Red Rooster. And we have come to say goodbye to probably one of the greatest carriers that has ever ingratiated the trucking industry. We come to say goodbye to a carrier that once upon a time showed people how it was done. Yep. Once upon a time was probably one of the most greatest carriers there was. And how a good carrier and stuff, man, can go wrong, can go bad if put in the wrong hands of management. And why you as a driver never need to be comfortable. Strap onto your seatbelts, and I will give you the history of what used to be. Accent Power, Accent Global Logistics, aka Big Rock Transportation, aka Sergeant Trucking, aka Sergeant and Tweety Transportation. As of this morning, phone calls were made and told them, and the carrier that was responsible, which is Roadrunner Transportation, gave the bad news to a carrier that it was something that was long overdue. They said, we are discontinuing this branch of the company. We like to appreciate all your hard work and efforts, but we are, as of today, no more. So we'll be sending out your severance packages. As of right now, we need to shut off all fuel cards. We need to shut off, and we need to conclude any and all business that we have going on right now. Nobody saw it coming. They came in normally, and they got a phone call not too long, said, hey, this carrier is no longer a carrier. We are discontinuing the operations as of right now. I was with Big Rock Transportation before they switched over to Ascent Global. And when I was there and stuff, man, that, you know, if you want to know how to go to a lease company, if you want to go to a lease company and be successful, that was the carrier to go to. Because, you know, it was a place where they weren't, it was a 9-to-5 place, but they were about business. They were about business and stuff. Unfortunately, you had two types of people that was there. You had those who understood that they made a mistake. They understood that they made a mistake when they signed the contract, and they wanted to get out. And then you had another who said that, hey, man, I'm going to cash out and I'm going to get on out of here because it's a train wreck waiting to happen. This was a carrier that, when I talk about a partnership, that's what it was. It was like, just because people came to work and stuff didn't mean that They made money by the hour. They wasn't paid by salary. They was paid based upon the contracts that they can line up. And if it wasn't, and I'm gonna tell you, that carrier, if it wasn't for them having to go to e-logs, when e-logs got mandated back in 2014, that company would probably still be in business right now. That company would still be in business right now if they never got mandated to go to electronic log in 2014. Everybody would have stayed and stuff, man. It was the place to go and stuff. If you was talking about ownership, if you was talking about business, they taught me the ropes. You see what I'm saying? This was a carrier that, they was about their business 100% of the time. Like, hey, you get done, you pick up a load, when you got it done, when you delivered it, you scanned it, you got paid, that was it. It was no waiting till a Friday to get, it wasn't no waiting till Friday and stuff for a settlement and none of that stuff, man. They was about business 100% of the time. As long as your paperwork was straight, hey, listen, go out there, do what you got to do, as long as you were safe and on time, One of the biggest mistakes that they made was signing on with Roadrunner Transportation. And Roadrunner Transportation biggest problem was their management. Roadrunner Transportation biggest problem was their management. That's why they're having the financial difficulties that they're having, because every time they put somebody in management, somebody was always stealing the money. They was always stealing the money, and the drivers had to pay for it every time. It was a long history. It was a long history and stuff for that, and they could never get that under control. That's why they suffered the way that they suffered. That's why their stocks ain't worth nothing. That's why they're closing the doors, because their management sucks. They were people that was not about business. And stuff. And so when other companies bought in with the intention of some of them to keeping their doors and stuff open, right? One of the things that they went over there and did was change up that management. When they changed up the management, the drivers couldn't survive, The drivers couldn't survive and stuff, man. It's just the type of management that went in there. They went in there and just it was just a complete massacre. It was money. It was just money just going everywhere except where it needed to go, and that was in the pockets of the drivers. It was in the pockets of the drivers and stuff, man. It was a train wreck. I ain't going to say it was a train wreck, man. It was cancer. It was a cancer that nobody treated and stuff, man. And so, when I seen the writing on the wall, I was explaining to everybody. Then I said, man, look, hey, I've been over here this carrier for 6 years. I don't want to leave. I honestly don't want to leave. But I said, man, the way it's heading and stuff, I said, it's time to cash out now, because it's no saving it. There is no saving this carrier. And so I had to go to the founding fathers. There were two founding fathers. There were two founding fathers and stuff for that carrier and stuff. One was Mike Tweedy. The other one was Bruce Sargent. And they opened up that carrier back in 1987. And that partnership for over 20 years grew to a level that was unfathomable, man. I mean, when you speak of these two names, Mike Tweedy and Bruce Sargent, anyone that's in business recognize these two gentlemen and stuff, man. These two powerhouses, and I mean, and they can just break into stories and stuff, man, about how they really, they were really the pioneers and stuff, man, of they was the pioneers and stuff, man, or the last pioneers of how to get things and stuff done, man. They had a beautiful partnership. They had a beautiful partnership. They even had a more beautiful operation. And it's just one ill decision to say. It's just one ill decision that put a rift into this beautiful system and stuff, man. And so one person said that, man, they understood that they made a mistake and they paid the price and said, man, you know, I'll do what I got to do and stuff to get out of it. Another person decided to say, hey, man, listen, this it for me. I'm going to cash out. I'm going to split my money amongst my family. And we're just going to go and do other things and stuff, man. So, I mean, and it could have, you know, the carrot, you know, it could have been saved. Big Rock could have been saved if they just would have went on here and if they would have went on here and just let bygones be bygones and stuff, and just understand we got 20 years of history. We got over 20 years of history. We got millions and millions of dollars that we made throughout the course of this time, right? We're business people. We understand that we made mistakes and stuff, but for the sake of keeping things going and stuff, right? Let's put this stuff behind us, you know, do what we got to do, and that's that. But, you know, it never came to fruition, you know. It never came to fruition and stuff, man. These two families were, you know, these two families and stuff, man, it caused a rift. It caused the rift so major that, I mean, it never recovered, you know. And so, all right, G Logistics, what's going on with you? But when I seen the separation, for myself and stuff, man, when they split, the money went with them. And so the money went with them and the business went with them too. And for a long time, you know, the reason why I was able to survive at Big Rock was because I knew how to navigate through the open market. That was the only reason why I was able to survive over there and stuff, because of the open market. That was the only reason, man. Cause like I said, 90% of my revenue came from C.H. Robinson. 90% of my revenue came from C.H. Robinson. When they didn't renew the insurance policy with C.H. Robinson back in 2018, when they didn't renew it, that's when I knew then. I said, well, you know, it's all downhill from here. You know, of course the recession hit. And stuff, man. Back in you know, at the end of 2018 and, you know, most of 2019 and stuff. And so that's when I made my decision. I said, man, I'm out of here. You know, I'm out of here and stuff, man. The DOT pulled me over. Gave me a level 2 inspection, and I wound up missing my load and stuff, man. I was doing a Coyote Logistics load, and I had to get my load rescheduled. And stuff, man. And so, when I delivered that load and stuff, man, I'm like, dude, what the heck am I doing? Man, what the heck am I doing and stuff, man? I mean, I'm over here. I mean, I'm the last of a few drivers that was under I was under a grandfather contract and stuff, right? They decided back in 2000, you know, when they were still Big Rock Transportation, they decided back in 2018. No, yeah, 2017. Excuse me, 2017. That's when they decided. You know, they was one of the last few carriers where you can go and they was under a 10% contract. You know, most carriers now, when you lease on this stuff, man, it's 20%. You know, I was 10%. And so they came to me and they said, you know, with the new contract, they was telling me that I would be under a 12% contract, right? I'll be under a 12% contract. But then they told me the fees that they were eliminating with me going under 12% contract, and they said that everybody that was coming in as a new driver was under a 12% contract and stuff. But it just, you know, that just wasn't the truth and stuff, man. I mean, another big mistake that they made, they decided that they were going to take on the responsibility of guys who got trucks from Quality. Everybody got, you know, when Quality decided they wanted to go out here and do their thing, there was another big mistake right there. You know, you're sitting there paying $700, $800, $900 a week for a truck. You know, big mistake. It was a real big mistake to take on that task and stuff. And so when they did it, I mean, the carrier had to pay for it, because with Quality, with Quality, their thing is that regardless of whether you make money or not, if you was a carrier that signed the contract and stuff with Quality, you had to pay them regardless of whether the driver made money or not and stuff. So, you know, if you lease a driver on and stuff, and whatever his truck payment is and stuff, his insurance payment is and stuff, they got their money every week like clockwork, you know, regardless of whether that driver was making money or not. And so it was a lot of drivers that was coming over there to Big Rock that just wasn't making money. You know, they wasn't making money because, you know, there was just no money to be made. You know, there was no money to be made and stuff, man. They didn't tell the guys and stuff about the open market. You know, they didn't tell them about the open market. They just told them, hey, listen, we'll find loads for you and stuff. And so they were just constantly in the hole and stuff. And so they was under a 20% contract. You know, they was under a 20% contract and stuff. And so, I mean, dude, the company was just, they never made, you know, they never made money. In fact, I was probably one of the few guys over there. And stuff, man, that was making a settlement, you know. So they, a lot of new guys that was coming in, they, you know, they got paid weekly. They got paid weekly and stuff, and, you know, once a week and stuff like that, you know. So it was me and maybe five other guys and stuff. And so we was under the old contract, which means, you know, we did a load. Once we did a load, we turned it in, you know, and it was, again, 10% contract. And then they put us on 12% contract, but it was the same thing and stuff, like, hey, well, you know, once you turn the load in and stuff, you got paid right then. So Roadrunner decided, they said, man, hey, listen, you know, most of the guys that are in here are under 20% contract, and they wait to get paid weekly. So who is these five guys and stuff who these five guys here and stuff, you know? So they told us, they said, man, you guys are going to have to get paid weekly, you know, which I knew that was going to happen. That's why I prepared myself, you know. Instead of selling out for every load I did, I held my loads, and stuff. I turned them in once a week, but I already knew the game that was behind it, getting paid once a week. I said, what's going to happen is they're going to start, they got more money going out than they got coming in. So when I start selling and stuff like that, I'm going to start having payroll issues and stuff. And just sure enough, you know, I turn in my stuff. I only owed Accent Global every week. I only owed them $175. That included my medical insurance that I had with the carrier. $175 a week. Anything past that, that was my money. So it was impossible for me to fall in the hole. It was impossible for me to fall in the hole. So I turned stuff in, and then they started explaining, hey man, we didn't get this paperwork here, we didn't get this, so we can't pay you this week, you know. And so they started holding the pay and stuff like that. And I'm like, man, dude, look, you know, finally I had to tell them, I said, man, if y'all think that I'm one of these drivers and stuff that it's gonna be in the hole and stuff, right, you can just forget that. You know, you can either pay me now with the money that you owe me and stuff, or you just gonna be, you know, it's either gonna be a big check now or it's gonna be a bigger check later. But if you think that I'm gonna get angry and shut down and all this other stuff here, so you strongly mistaken. You're gonna give me my money. You know, I got enough set up in the reserve and stuff like that. I don't owe nothing. All my stuff is paid off. It is what it is, you know. And you know, so I ran into those issues and stuff there. Another thing and stuff, man, which hurt the carrier and stuff too. You know, the carrier has two types of systems. One system, which I strongly believe in and stuff to this day. I believe that whatever load that you get, you should be advanced. The load, you should be advanced at least 50% of the load that you do, and nothing else. You shouldn't get nothing else but 50, maybe 60%, right? And the reason why I believe in that system there and stuff, that's what kept you from hauling cheap freight. That's what keeps you from hauling cheap freight. When you sit there and you book a load and the load is cheap, and then, okay, you get 50% and that's it. Even with that 50% is not enough to run that load. You know, that's what's going to make people back up and stuff, but it makes you stay fixated, stay focused about your business, you know. But instead, they changed up the system. They said, well, hey, we got this fuel card right here and stuff, and you can get up to 900 gallons a day. You get up to 900 gallons a day and stuff. I said, well, when they started that system there, I said, people just gonna be hauling cheap freight. And just sure enough and stuff, man, they hauling cheap freight. So every time I go in that office, they was always discontinuing somebody's contract because they was in the hole. Like, hey man, listen, you $2,000-$3,000 in the hole and stuff, man. So there's no way you coming out of this and stuff. So we got to discontinue your contract. I'm like, man, it just got that bad and stuff. I'm like, there was no type of management, no type of structure. It was just, hey man, listen, go over here. You can haul as much cheap loads and stuff as you can, as long as we got something to say that you're doing a load right. You know, we'll cut your fuel card on, and you can haul as much cheap freight as you want to haul. You know, but when you under that advanced system, and the most you can get is 50%. Now a lot of these guys, they ain't giving you 50% no more. They giving you 35%. That's the most you can get. 35%. So, that makes you very, if you really have to depend on the advance and stuff in order to do this load, it make you have to wake up to things, cause you ain't got to pay tolls and stuff now. They your tolls, you ain't got to have cash on hand. You still got tolls, you just ain't got to pay cash. A lot of tolls are cashless now, with the exception of maybe a few tolls like the New Jersey Turnpike, and I believe that's it. Only the New Jersey Turnpike. That's the New Jersey Turnpike and the Maine Turnpike. So like I said, there are a few tolls out here which you actually have to pay cash money, but for everything else, it was mail in, so it wasn't no need of having cash and stuff on hand, so they cut down the advances, and so now they're saying, well, okay, 35%. That's the most you can get. If you can't make it work with 35%, then, well, you just bust. But it taught you how to organize. It taught you how to save your money. It taught you what you needed. it got you on the right path and stuff, right? So if you ever decide that you want to get your own authority, right, you got a taste of what to come and see if you can handle it. But they removed that process away and said that, well, we're going to do like the mega carriers, and we're going to give you a line of credit, and you can haul this freight, and at the end of the week, do all this work, and we'll get our money, and you won't get no money, and that's that. You know, that works for the mega carriers because, see, the mega carriers, they, the mega carriers are very structured when it comes to their money. This is why a lot of them ain't went out of business right now and stuff. You know, they're sitting there, you know, but for the most part, you know, some of these smaller carriers that pick up mega carrier, tendencies. Kareem the trucker, what's going on? This is a result. What happens and stuff, man. They follow those recipes and stuff, man. And it just ends in disaster. You know, you got people that's going in there stealing money. Can't nobody explain where the money and stuff is, and then they finally catch the guy, and the guy says, well, hey, listen, the only thing I can do is just do jail time. That's it. You know, just jail time and stuff like that. So, you know, they kick one guy out, they put another guy in, and then they got to raise up the percentages in the company and say, well, hey, look, the drivers are responsible, even though they ain't got nothing to do with the management side of things and stuff, but the only way we can get the money is through the drivers, you know? So they raise up those percentages and stuff. And so you wonder now why 20% is the norm. Even though you got your own equipment, right? You got your own truck, got your own trailer. They still get 20% of the gross. Where it used to be, they got 10%. You know, some guys, man, wouldn't even get but 6%. You know, again, that's how I survived at Big Rock. I mean, you know, a lot of loads that was over there I was booking, the contract said 10%, but being that I went and got my own load and stuff like that, they're like, man, look, dude, I'm just charged 6%. I'm going to charge 6%. I'm going to charge 5%. Sometimes they won't even charge me nothing. Look, I'm going to give you money. But, you know, as the operation changed, and people were now, you was on a salary and you got paid every Friday, you didn't have to worry about bringing no business in, people got comfortable. And when they got comfortable and stuff, you know, they got comfortable, they got complacent. But people who understood business was looking around and saying, hey man, this ain't it. So the more I kept going up there, you know, I ride by the carrier. You know, I ride by the carrier and stuff, and so, you know, they have a few trucks parked, and then they have more trucks parked, and then next thing you know, they almost got the whole fleet parked. And I knew the game was over with when they took all their trailers and parked them in a field behind a house. That was recently. That was before I went to LA. That was before I went to LA and stuff. I rode up there and stuff. I'm like, man, what in the heck is going on? They took all the trailers and parked them behind the house. Rode by that, you know, I rode by Freightliner. And stuff, man. They had a whole bunch. They got almost all brand new trucks just back there behind the Freightliner dealership. And I ride past Carlisle Place. He got a bunch of trucks sitting over there. He got trailers and stuff sitting all everywhere. But when I seen them trailers behind the house, this unoccupied house in a field, I knew then. I said, it's game over. I said, well, game over and stuff, man. So I got the phone call today. And stuff, man. And that's what he was saying. Hey, look, man, Ascent Power is no more. Ascent Power is no more and stuff, man. But this right here is a precursor to all these other carriers that's out here and stuff that's talking about, hey, man, don't worry about rate confirmation sheets. Don't worry about rate confirmations and stuff like that. You know, all this little funny business. You know, this is a precursor. They doing this stuff. They doing this stuff today. Tomorrow, you're gonna get a sorry about that. Uh, my phone overheated. Hold on. Let me get this situated. Okay. All right. We back. So, like I was saying, if you're working for these carriers and stuff, man, you might get a you know, when that time comes and stuff, and they decide to close them doors, you might get some kind of courtesy call from somebody from the inside telling you, hey man, listen, you need to go ahead and get that truck. You need to go and get that truck somewhere. You need to get it somewhere fast because they coming to get it. You know, you going over there and stuff, and then that's funny. The fuel card ain't working. I'm trying to get some fuel and stuff, and my fuel card ain't working. That's funny. Yeah, that's a mess. That's a messed up deal, boy. But I'm telling you, every Monday, it seemed to be the same thing. It's nothing. Hey, don't panic. You know, yeah, we putting these trailers. Yeah, we putting these trailers and stuff behind the house and stuff, right, in a field. You know, but don't worry about that. You know, don't worry about all those trucks being parked up the street and everything. You know, don't worry about it. Okay, all right, we live again. Okay, we live. So, all right. Apparently I'm getting some phone calls and stuff, right? So, give me a few minutes and stuff to clear the line off and stuff, and then we're gonna go back into part 2. So y'all give me a few minutes, y'all stay tuned and stuff. I'm gonna go back live. I'm gonna go back live again, you know, once I let everybody and stuff know that I'm going live. So give me a few minutes, I'll be right back with y'all. It's Red Rooster.